Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. And yeah, we're going to be finishing up a lot of the content that I have in progress right now. I'm actually going to take a look at my board and see what all is going on. I've got a lot of stuff that's in progress that needs to be finished, so that's kind of bad, but that's what these streams are for. So yeah, I think the main thing I want to do is finish up the visual effects and whatnot for the goblin, the cannon goblin that we were working on yesterday. There are some changes that I want to make to the skeleton snake boss that aren't in here. Got to add some drag and drop functionality to the gun part unlocks screen. And yeah, I just got a bunch of stuff that's in progress here. But there's also some changes that I want to make to the guns to make them feel a lot better. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll do some tweaking of the guns in this stream, but we'll see, we'll see. So anyway, hello, Makad. How early am I? You were the first one here, first chatter anyway. Right as the stream starts, so welcome, good to see you. All right, so before I get into all of this, I want to remind everyone that I have linked in the description below a couple of Udemy courses available for sale, so if you'd like to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, you could check those out. It's a great way to financially support me as well as I am going on this full-time indie dev journey. So the other ways to support my work are you can like this video, subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, sign up for my email list at firebelly.com. Every which way you can support me. Oh, of course, wishlist Gunforge too. So every way you can support me is linked in the description below, and I appreciate every bit of support. And with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and start working on this goblin. So let me open this up. Cannon goblin. How casual do you keep these streams? Can we ask questions? Yeah, of course. Yeah, the streams are, I mean, pretty casual. I try to make this stream educational when possible, but I also try to get some work done, so it's a good balance. Okay, so with this cannon goblin, let me just go ahead and open up the game. Graveyard level. I'm just gonna go ahead and open up this level here, and we're gonna see what's going on. So I think I need to add, I don't need this on anymore. There we go. I think I need to add like a muzzle flash effect to the goblin here. Also, let me see. Need a muzzle flash effect. And probably like some kind of bullet impact effect as well. But I think they're looking great overall. Are they colliding with each other? I don't think so. I gotta check the layers and masks on the goblin collisions, but yeah, that's looking good. So yeah, muzzle flash and then also the impact collisions. So let's do the muzzle flash first. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome back. Good to see you. All right, so muzzle flash, muzzle flash, muzzle flash. Where are we gonna put this? I guess we'll put this underneath the barrel position here. GPU particles 2D. Muzzle flash particles. Let's access as unique name here. All right, let's put the particles animation material. Canvas material particles animation there. And then new process material. And then also I need that particles texture. Perfect. Let's turn the amount up. And then let's open this up and we'll start editing this. So first of all, one shot needs to be on. Lifetime probably needs to be something like 0.4. We're going to get rid of the interpolation. I really don't know why that's on it by default, but that's all right. Okay. So now I can burst it. I need, speaking of burst, explosiveness. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this first. Display animation. Okay. Spawn angle. Position. We'll do a sphere. Sounds good. We're going to turn off the gravity. And then the velocity here, the initial direction is going to be 1 in the X with the initial velocity being 20 to 100. Okay. That probably actually needs to be even shorter of a lifetime. Okay. Just started switching from data engineering, started learning programming and game dev. Currently learning C# using Whitaker's C# book. Awesome. How's that going? Wello, Harold. Welcome, Ariane. Good to see you. Are you watching the VGAs tonight? No, I don't typically watch any sort of entertainment at all. But I mean, I'm sure I'll hear about like the results and whatnot and the hype train and all that stuff on the social medias. Likely will use your C# Udemy course to get started. Most tutorials on YouTube are GDScript based. How easy is the translation between the two? I think it's pretty easy to translate between GDScript and C#, because the API is the same. It's just the API, the Godot API is C#ified, if that makes sense. So I find that it's especially once you have a handle on how Godot works, it's relatively easy to translate GDScript to C# and vice versa. I'm only 12 chapters in. Chapter 15 is when OOP starts. Gotcha. Yeah, I think you'll have a fine time. I don't think you're going to run into many issues. There's just a couple of things about C# that are slightly different, like Godot, so GDScript has arrays and dictionaries, and those collections have been translated over to C#. So there's like a Godot array implementation in C#, and there's a Godot dictionary implementation in C#. There are situations where you want to use those things, but when you can, you should definitely prefer to use the C# collections. So use C# arrays and C# dictionaries and all that stuff that are provided in the sort of, well, arrays are just supported out of the box, right? But then there's the collections system namespace, I guess you could say, that has dictionaries and hash sets and all that stuff. That would be like the main difference. That's the part where I often see people getting tripped up the most, is they end up using a Godot dictionary, which has a lot of wonkiness to it, instead of using like the collections, the generic collections dictionary. Anyway, that's like super random, but that's like the main the main thing that I can think of here. Okay, so these muzzle flash particles. Let's change the scale here. Okay. And let's change the max to 2. Perfect. We got to change the lifetime randomness. Okay, I'm going to turn up this velocity actually. There needs to be more motion in it. Okay, that works. Since I turned the lifetime randomness up, I wonder if I can just change the time generally. The lifetime here. There we go. Obviously, I want to use some kind of color for this, but Actually, I don't think I like that. Back down to 0.3. Okay. And then let's look up the enemy muzzle flash. Gonna copy this gradient here. Actually, I'll just copy this entire initial ramp there. And I'll paste that into color. Where is the color? Oh, this should be index. Down here is the color, let's see. Yeah, color curves. Color initial ramp, paste that. Make unique recursive, boom. Okay. Cool. Is there something else I'm missing? Don't think so. Okay. So now I need to set this to emitting when the shot happens, and then we'll see how it looks in game. It's possible I'll need to make some changes to this to make it look better. The editor is not really a great way of knowing whether something's going to look great in game. So private GPU particles 2D, muzzle flash particles. Muzzle flash particles dot emitting equals true. Okay, let's go ahead and check that out. We'll see what's going on. Okay, so one problem here is that the particles are following the muzzle. So gonna need to probably, let me look where this enemy muzzle flash is happening. Enemy muzzle flash. Enemy muzzle flash scene. Yeah, so this is a little bit tricky. So what I think I probably need to do instead is save this as a separate scene. So let's go ahead and save branch as scene. Scenes effect, muzzle flash. I'm gonna do, oops, where did I just save that? Okay. Well, I didn't want to save it like that, but that's fine. Show in file system, let's just rename this. Rename to Canon Goblin Muzzle Flash. Just be very specific. Okay, so we've got that here, and that should look the same. Yeah. So then let's go ahead and just add animation player, new, default, autoplay. We're going to set this to emitting here, and then we're going to add a call method track. It's a very nice way of creating like self-freeing particles. So this is going to end up just being fire and forget, because it's going to end up being fire and forget because this animation is set to autoplay. So as soon as this gets added to the tree, it's going to set itself to emitting. So it's going to emit, and then after 1 second, it will just free itself. So this is really nice. I really like doing this because it's super easy. And so now I can go to my Canon Goblin, and in my resource preloader here, drop that muzzle flash in there, get rid of it here, muzzle flash particles, and now we got to create an instance of that. So var muzzle flash particles, get rid of this here, equal to resource preloader dot instance scene or null node 2D Canon Goblin muzzle flash. And then this just needs to be added to probably the foreground. This dot get base level. I guess we'll add it to the Well, where does the... Oh, it gets added to the gun. Okay, interesting. I think I'll add this to the entities layer. Otherwise, get parent, add child, muzzle flash particles, and then muzzle flash particles dot global position. We'll set the global position first is equal to barrel position dot global position. Okay, so there's our particles, and then we're instantiating the bullet as well. Okay, so let's see how that goes now. I'm hoping, I might make those particles bigger too, but I'm hoping that this produces a little bit better of a visual effect here. Okay, yeah, I think that's working. I think the particles just need to be bigger. There needs to be more particles and they need to be bigger, so let's go ahead and do that. So the way to make this look bigger, I think, there's a couple of ways. So first way is to increase the velocity so it travels more. So let's up the high end of the velocity there. And then I'm going to lower the low end actually so it spreads out more. And then we're going to go to the display here, scale, do a max scale of 3. Okay, and then maybe we can make it spread more as well. And then it can add more particles to it as well. So I don't know if that's going to help. I might need to exaggerate those numbers even more, but the goal is not to make it too overbearingly obvious while still, yeah. So I think that works. Obviously the cannon bullet ends up taking up the majority of the space, but you could still very clearly see that the muzzle flash is happening. So that's basically what I wanted. I just wanted some kind of effect there. And I think that's, yeah, that's good enough, I think. I love the cannon goblins. They're so cool. They just got their little cannons. They square up and then they just blast away. One thing that is bothering me though is I think the shadow here is a little bit too big. Turn that down just a smidgen. We'll turn it down just a smidge. Okay, so now I need a collision for those cannons. Enemy cannon bullet. So this thing here. Enemy impact. Yeah, so there's an enemy impact here. I'm kind of tempted to, let's see. I'm kind of tempted to just duplicate this and make it a cannon impact and change it as necessary. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. So let's go ahead and show in file system, duplicate enemy cannon impact. Okay, so I'll open this up, this animation player, enemy cannon impact. This animation player here, manage animations. I want to make unique. I just want to break these animations up. Just make sure that nothing is being used as a reference there. Cool. And then this GPU particles 2D, again, I'm going to make this unique, just make everything unique. So I'm breaking all the references there. And then this is obviously going to need to be much bigger. So sphere radius going to have to be probably quite big actually. Okay. Velocity, direction, spread, initial velocity. Again, we're going to want to increase that. Okay. The amount, we're going to turn the amount up to 10. Then we got to go to the scale here. Max scale 3. It's probably going to need to be way bigger than that even, but we'll see, I suppose. This additive light 2D. I think I need a bigger light. Okay. And it's calling return to pool, which is not good. So I'm gonna actually remove this. Get rid of this function here. And then we'll add a call method track on the root. Add queue free. Oops. Okay. I have no clue if that's going to work, but we're going to find out. So this enemy cannon bullet here, this death scene now can be that enemy cannon impact. There we go. All right. So let's again see what that looks like. I'm assuming that's not going to look great, so I'm going to have to figure that out, but one thing at a time. All right, let's see. What do these impacts look like? Ooh, it didn't work. Ooh, it didn't work. Okay, why didn't it work? Object reference not set to an instance of object. Oh. Oh. Scene pool get. Death effect. Bullet impact. Oh. I guess I can't, I guess I shouldn't have removed this. So let's go ahead and reattach this. Shoot, now I don't know where this is. Okay. It is in scripts effect bullet impact. So this is using object pooling for these things. So I'm going to reattach that, and I should, I guess, use return to pool here. So delete this, insert key, return to pool. So the way it was before was correct. I should have just left it, I suppose. All right, now let's see what happens. Okay, that doesn't look bad, actually. Probably do need to make that impact a little bit bigger. It looks a little bit odd with the spherical emission shape. That's the big thing. So I wonder what happens if I just go back to like a point. Do a point, really emphasize the min and max velocity here to get a little bit of spread going. I could make it like a box as well. Maybe I'll try that. Make it a box. Emission shape box extents. So it's more vertical now. Yeah, I think that looks good. So now it's going to be like on a vertical line instead of from a single point, but it's also not spherical, so that means it's not going to like spawn in the wall at all. So I think that looks great. And I might also change the time. How much time is this? 0.15. Let's just up it to 0.2 and then index. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Okay, yeah. I think that's looking much better. So it's a really like subtle effect. It's really quick, but that's the point. It just needs to make it look like the the cannon is just not immediately disappearing. It doesn't need to be like super perfect or beautiful. And I think that works just fine. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to say that that looks good. Was there something else that I was going to do for the goblin? I don't remember. I don't think so. I need to do S effects for this as well. One of these days I'm going to sit down and just do all the outstanding sound effects that I need for all these things. Because right now my goal is to not mark any of the content as done until it's entirely done, so I don't need to go back and redo anything. So that means obviously including the sound effects before marking the card as done. I think that's going to be really important so that I don't have to like comb through the game and figure out where all the sounds are missing. But I think this is looking great, so I'm going to go ahead and commit this. Oh, the other thing I want to do real quick is go to my game load screen. Load game screen. Just run through this screen right here because that's going to update my precompile list for the shaders. You can see here this precompile list now. There's a bunch of new scenes in here that need to be potentially precompiled. So, okay, so add VFX to Canon Goblin. All right, so that's looking good. Now the next thing that I want to do is I'm basically finished with the skeletal snake, which is the wave 20 boss of the graveyard, but I want to tweak some things about its behavior here. So one thing that I want to change is right now when the snake does the bone spike attack, he just stops in place, and I don't think I want that to happen. I think what I'd rather have is, what do I want to say? What I'd rather have is some kind of slow but massively snaking behavior. So I'm just going to see where the bone spike attack is. State attack, bone spike timer. Yeah, so we've got this velocity component.decelerate. I think what I want to try is velocity component dot speed percent. Am I allowed to set that? No. Set speed percent modifier, name of state attack. I'm gonna do maybe negative 0.5%. Negative 0.5 speed. Ooh, is that gonna, wait. Set speed percent modifier. That could potentially make the snake go into negative movement. Let's see. Velocity, max speed, speed percent multiplier. I've got the acceleration coefficient multiplier. I also want probably public float speed multiplier. Oh my gosh, this is getting... So I've got speed percent multipliers, I've got speed multipliers. So this would be max speed times this. I guess it's just multiplication, so this can go anywhere. So max speed times speed multiplier. So the reason that this is different than this is because this is addition. So if I add a bunch of negative numbers, I could then be multiplying. Like if I add up a bunch of negative numbers such that it ends up being less than -1, this could actually reverse the speed value. So this speed percent is really only useful for adding speeds to an entity cumulatively. But if I want to slow the speed of the entity, I think using a multiplier is safer. Because if I just say I want to slow the entity by 50%, then it's always going to be greater than 0 as long as max speed is greater than 0, right? And as long as this is greater than 0. Speed is one of those weird things in games where, like, you know, how do you actually handle speed buffs? A lot of games, what they do is they have diminishing returns. So it might say like 10% increased speed, but that doesn't mean that you could get 10 of those and have 100% increased speed. It might mean that you get 10% increased speed the first time, and then 8% the second time, and then 6%, and then so on and so forth. They have like different curves, like soft caps to different values and whatnot that they often don't tell you about. But that's fine. So speed multiplier here. So now I'm going to do this. Speed multiplier is equal to 0.5. So I'm going to slow the thing way down. And then in the leave state attack, we got to set that speed multiplier back to 1. Hello, Mr. Pomelka. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. How are you doing? All right, so yeah, we're getting that speed multiplier, setting it to 0.5, setting it here. Actually, I guess I could just set the max speed. Maybe I should do that instead of introducing this. I think what I'll do is I'll just do this. Private float default max speed is equal to, well, we'll just set that there, and then in my ready method, default max speed is equal to velocity component dot. Are you serious? I guess I'll just make a public variable for this. Public float max speed. This class is a mess. A lot of the problem is mostly like I can't refactor these things here without erasing all of the speeds that I've configured. So I guess I could add like a getter and setter for this, but then I can't change the casing, I don't think, otherwise it'll get erased. So in an effort to preserve everything that I've created, I just add these accessors there. And now I can just get that. Okay, so now when I go in here, I can call set max speed, and I can just do it here. Default max speed times 0.5. That's going to be a lot safer, I think. And then I can set it back to what it was when I leave that state. Okay, so now in the state attack, what I need to do is I need to acquire the target position. So in my bullet attack, it's going toward the player. I think I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. Then I'm going to call do movement. Okay, and then I want to set up the sinusoidal movement so that it's much higher. So how am I actually doing that? In my bullet attack, head angle degree delta, 360. Default head angle degree delta 180. I actually want it to be lower, I think, right? So state attack, so head angle degree delta is equal to default divided by 2. Head angle degree delta equals default. I'm curious to see what that looks like, so let's go ahead and run it. So basically the snake is going to slow down, it's going to start snaking in a much slower way, and it's going to also start shaking. And so it's still going to be moving, but it's also going to be summoning these bone spikes. And I'm curious to see if that's going to look good or not. Hello, snake. So there's its bullet attack. Ooh. That was pretty cool, actually. Ooh, yeah, that's looking cool. I do think I want to slow it down even more though. So default max speed times 0.33, so a third of its normal speed. Let's divide this by 3 as well. And then I also want to make this offset much more apparent when it's shaking. I think that would be really cool. So it's going to look like it's like really violently shaking. Hopefully that's going to do a little bit more for the visuals here. Yeah, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. And he starts shaking and then... Oh, he got stuck on a wall. That's all right. I gotta figure out how to fix those wall collisions. I think what I might do is just reflect the snake off the wall. So just basically immediately change the snake's velocity so that it just starts going like it just bounces off the wall. I think it's probably gonna look a little bit weird still, but it'll be better than him just like constantly like trying to go into the wall. Snake's pretty cool though. Sorry, I'm just observing its behavior, thinking about ways to improve it. I really like how it goes into those figure eights sometimes. That's super cool. Oh, you know what? No, that's fine. I love how it just kind of like doubles back on itself and curls between itself. That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll try reflecting it when it hits something. I like your graphics. Thank you, Rootbin. I appreciate that. Hello, Vishal. Welcome back. All right. Ow. I just smacked my microphone arm. Okay. So, skeleton snake. So, unfortunately, this move collided. I think what I can do... shoot, how am I going to actually reverse? So I've got accelerate in direction. I actually don't know if this is going to work. So just reflecting the velocity off of the collision normal. I don't think that's going to work. I mean, I guess I could just override the velocity. I suppose I will try that. Var collided is equal to this. If collided, there's a way to get the last collision, which I think I'm doing in the bullet component. Move and collide. Nope. So move and slide. To get the latest collision, get last slide collision. Okay. So var collision is equal to get last slide collision. And that should return the normal, right? Collision dot normal. Get normal. Yep. So I am going to borrow some code in here. So I'm going to do this. Var normal is equal to collision normal. Velocity component dot velocity is equal to velocity component dot velocity dot reflect around the normal dot rotated degrees 90. All right. So I'm just going to instantly reset the velocity to be the reflection of the vector, the velocity coming into the wall collision. And it's going to look like the snake is bouncing off the wall, at least I think so. But the whole point is to try to get this, prevent the snake from getting stuck on a wall for too long. The other option that I might explore, depending on how this looks. Ooh, that looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, the other option that I might do, depending on how this looks, is just generating a new path every time the snake collides with a wall. The problem, though, is that if he keeps running into a wall, it's going to keep generating a path. I actually think this looks great. You know, he bounces off of the walls and changes direction. It looks a little bit weird, but I think it looks less weird than getting stuck on a wall and like riding along the wall until he figures out where he's going. It also adds a little bit more, yeah, it adds a little bit more unpredictability to his movement as well. Yeah, I think that's that's actually very interesting. Yeah, I like that. I think that works perfectly, actually. It keeps the snake movement nice and clean. It adds a little bit of interest to the boss fight because now the snake is pretty much snake is pretty much always going to be able to pursue you without getting stuck in a wall. Yeah, that's cool. Now there's something weird about the head of this snake. It's not flipping at the right time. Hello. It's not flipping at the right time. When am I doing that head flip? Update body segments. Where is that? Flip V. Vector 2 left dot dot. Vector 2 dot right to rotated. Head segment global rotation. Is update body segments not call? It's called every frame, yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Head segment dot global rotation. Body segment, oh, you know what? Facing vector. Do I even need this head segment anymore? Oh wait, yeah, never mind. So I changed the structure of the snake. I don't even have the skeleton snake opened. I changed the structure of the skeleton snake, so now it's got like hit flash components wrapping each of the body parts. So I was wondering if I was referencing the sprite's global rotation. I guess it wouldn't matter though, because the global rotation is a global rotation. So even if the sprite is not being explicitly rotated, it should inherit or it should have a global rotation based on the transforms that it's inheriting. So yeah, this looks right to me. Body segment sprites array 0, which is the head. Flip V. Yeah, that should be fine. So I don't know why it's looking weird. Maybe the global rotation is not returning the value that I think it is. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. No, I don't know what it is. Never mind. I don't know if it's really that big of a deal, but it is kind of bothering me. It doesn't look like that head flipping is correct. Yeah, right there, that wasn't correct. That head is like not facing the right direction. Are the rest of the body segments working properly? I think the body segments are all working properly. Maybe not. I can't really tell. Maybe I gotta slow the snake down, but... that flip is wrong there, that's the thing. Okay, so I need to make sure that this is correct. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so I'm doing my math right. So the dot product between two vectors will be greater than 0 if they were within 90 degrees of each other. So basically what I'm saying is that if the head segments, so if the head is facing generally in the left direction, that's going to be within 90 degrees of the left vector, then I should flip it vertically. I should flip the visual vertically, and I'm doing the same thing here. But for some reason that doesn't seem to be working correctly. And I'm not entirely sure why. The only thing I can think of is like the update body segments not being called, but it's being called every process frame here, so it should just be updating all the time. So I'm not exactly sure why that's not working great. Where am I at? Oh, I got lost. Here. So body segments array flip V. Why is this not working? Let me pull up, I'm gonna pull up a resource. Godot has a really good resource on this. So there's dot product here. So the dot product here, so if it says A dot B is greater than 0, then you're within 90 degrees. If A dot B is less than 0, then you're more than 90 degrees. And if it's equal to 0, then it's exactly 90 degrees. And so they actually have an example here. We can use this fact to detect whether an object is facing toward another object. So yeah, so this is how they do it, right? You take the dot product of where the zombie's facing and then the direction to the player. If that's greater than 0, then it's within this sort of like semicircle cone or semicircle vision range, I guess. So I'm doing that math correctly, I believe. A direction to P. I don't think the dot product order matters, right? Yeah, it shouldn't matter. So yeah, so that's correct. I'm fairly confident that's correct. Maybe I should just leave it. I don't know. It's kind of bothering me, but I don't know how to fix it. I don't know why this issue is happening. Let me think a little bit on it. Facing vector, rotation. It's getting the global rotation. Yeah, I don't know. Am I just not looking at this correctly? Maybe I'll go ahead and let me stage my changes, or yeah, stage my changes there. Then the skeleton snake, I'm gonna go in here and change this velocity. I'm gonna turn this way down so I can just observe it a little bit easier. So he's not moving as rapidly. And then we'll see what happens. Okay. So yeah, right there, when the snake is facing to the left, that's so weird. The head is just not flipping correctly at all in a lot of times. I wonder if that's related to, maybe it's related to the canvas group. It could be related to the canvas group, I'm not sure. Well, I'm trying to figure out too if the body segments are flipping the correct way. It doesn't look like they are. It takes a while for them to flip to the correct direction. So, okay. So that's a clue. So maybe what I ought to do, instead of flipping it, I wonder what happens if I'm just gonna try this. Var scale is equal to new vector 2. 1 in the X, question mark, -1, 1. Head segment dot scale equals scale. So instead of flipping the sprite vertically, I'm just going to apply a vertical negative scale in the Y to that head segment. Yeah, it might be an issue of the canvas group not updating for some reason. That's the only thing that I can think of. Because I know for a fact it was working, at least until I added each segment being its own canvas group. Okay, yeah, that appears to be working. No, it's not working. Snake is still not flipping the correct way. So the head needs to be like in this orientation when it's going left, and then in the other orient, it basically needs to look like it's not upside down. But for some reason, that's just not a thing. Like it's upside down right there. Why is that happening? Who knows? Oh man, that's a tricky one. Okay, well, I know that that's not working, so that's fine. So I'll just go ahead and put this back. Well, there's one thing that I want to do in the meantime. Visuals. Yeah, so I want to take all this stuff. Node 2D. I'm just going to call this break Y sort. Put all that stuff in there. These should still... Yeah, these should still be linked up. Okay. These all got hurt box components, yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, something's wrong. Object reference not set to instance of object. Oh, right. Pathfind component, this needs to be marked as unique here. Pathfind component, access as unique name. Okay. Do I also need to do this for the health component? Yeah, I might as well just mark that as unique as well. Because I also need to add the skeleton death. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Ooh, that's going to be really interesting. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to handle the skeleton death. I haven't thought about that yet. It's going to be tricky, to say the least. Maybe you need to watch your own video to create the snake boss, yeah. Is there a way to debug step by step? Well, the problem is like it's an update that's happening every frame, and I don't know the conditions that are causing it to not behave correctly, so trying to step through, 144 frames a second to figure out which frame ends up being wrong is just like... I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to even get the debugging situation set up to properly test it. Because, like, I don't know what's causing the flip to be wrong. That's the big problem right now. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. I mean, it should be the case. The only thing I can think of is that global rotation is not the way that it's being presented in the visuals here. But that doesn't make sense either, because in my skeleton snake, I'm setting the global rotation here. Or I'm getting the global rotation. Interesting. How are these actually being rotated? Let's figure that out, I guess. Global transform, sample baked with rotation. rotation equals global, or body segments array global rotation. We're taking the facing vector and rotating it. Sample baked, this returns a rotation. Transform 2D X vector, pointing the direction of the path at that point. I mean, the rotation is obviously correct because everything is oriented correctly along the curve. It's just this flip V is not working. This is very tricksy, very tricksy. I'm still wondering if it has something to do with the canvas group stuff. I don't think it should, but like, so basically what I'm doing is I'm flipping it vertically like this. Can't really see it on that one. Let's do this one. So I'm turning this flip V on. That works in the editor. Is there anything in the canvas group that I can maybe fit margin? No. Yeah, there's nothing in here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why this is happening. I'm stumped. Not often that I get stumped like this, but I'm really kind of at a loss. I don't even know how to begin testing this because it's so nonsensical. The math is correct. The rotation's obviously correct because everything's aligned properly. It just seems like this flip V maybe isn't having an effect when it should. Okay, so, is there a way that I can set up breakpoints to get this to work? I do not know. I mean, is it... dot product. Yeah, I don't know. This should work. There's not a problem like mathematically with dot producting normal vectors, right? Like that shouldn't be a thing. AX times BX plus AY times BY. Yeah, so it's just multiplying the X components together, multiplying the Y components together, and adding them both. Is that going to create, I mean, that shouldn't be a problem for normalized vectors. The numbers are going to be smaller, I guess, but it's not going to be like throwing everything off. Oh yeah, when using unit vectors, the result will always be between -1 and 1. Which is fine. So I'm very confident this is not an issue with my math here. So yeah, I don't know. Might just chalk it up to who knows and leave it, because I'm not sure it's worth spending this much time to fix. It does bother me, but I just don't know. I have no clue how to even approach fixing this or diagnosing it even. It just simply will not flip the sprite sometimes. I mean, I guess the one thing that I can do, let me put I'm gonna put my velocity back. There's one thing I can do, which I'm curious to see. Where did I set max speed? 215, okay. I'm gonna set this velocity back to 215. Okay. Velocity component, max speed, okay. So modify snake behavior. Okay, let's close all these things up. And I'm gonna check out an older version of the snake. I'm just trying to make sure I can check out a version of the snake that... Yeah, okay. So I think this one is where I want to go. So let's copy that SHA, or can I check this out here? Is there a checkout commit? Checkout to commit? Okay. Let's just open the skeleton snake and see what's going on. So this is before I was using all of those individual hit flash group components. But I believe if I were to open this up, I believe that in my update body segments, I'm applying that flip V using the same logic. So let's observe this now. I'm going to turn this down to 100 the way it was before. And I'm going to go ahead and just run this and see if the older version of the snake was operating correctly. Because if so, then I think I can be pretty confident that it's the hit flash group component that's causing the issue. So he's flipping correctly there. Flips correctly there, flips correctly there. Yeah, so all that is flipping correctly. Yeah, so that flipping is working. See, I knew I wasn't crazy. So that version of the snake is flipping correctly. The only thing that has really changed between that version of the snake and the current version of the snake is I've added a bunch of those hit flash group components, those canvas groups. So there must be something about the canvas group that is just causing the visual update not to happen. There's one thing that I want to try as well. So I'm gonna go back to master here. So I'm back on my master branch, skeleton snake. So we've got all of these hit flash group components here. I wonder if I just reference the sprites global rotation directly instead of the hit flash group component. So body segment sprites array. Instead of doing head segment, let's do body segment sprites array 0. Global rotation. And then same for here. So we're just going to go straight to the sprite instead of trying to get the global transform from the hit flash group component. Oh, shoot. Okay, wait. Body segments array I. This global transform needs to be set, but then I can do body segments sprites array. Rotation. I don't know why that would work, but we're going to see. Whoops, graveyard level. And if this doesn't work, then I'm either going to say, well, it's going to look a little bit janky, or maybe I'll figure out a different way to accomplish the hit flash. Okay. Okay, that's working now, I think. Okay, yeah, that's working. Okay, so something about referencing the global rotation of the canvas group node itself was causing problems. So maybe there's a Godot bug there. But if I go straight to the global transform of... If I go straight to the global transform of the sprite that's a child of that canvas group, it seems to work just fine. Now the shadows are all wrong though, so I got to figure out why that is. Skeleton snake. Oh, because all that data got erased, I think. Why did it get erased? I don't know, but in any case. Wait, why did it get erased? Oh, it just decided to erase all of them by itself. Okay, I'm gonna close this. Skeleton snake, those are the only changes that were made, so delete that. Let's just build it again just to be safe. I think because I rebuilt, I didn't have that change in place, so it erased it. So now if I go back to my skeleton snake, that's why git is important. Okay, so that enable rotation is enabled again. So that's the dangerous part, I guess, about switching between git branches with, or git commits with C# and Godot, is that if you've changed your export properties at all, then things will start to get erased, but it's recoverable as we can see, so all good. And the snake is now flipping properly. Yeah, so I guess there must be some kind of subtle bug there with like referencing a global rotation on a canvas group node specifically, which doesn't surprise me because the canvas group node strikes me as something that's very janky, to say the least. But apparently just going straight to the sprite's global rotation fixes the problems I was having with that flip. Okay, so I feel better now that that's resolved. Seems to be resolved anyway. Everything's flipping properly. Snake is looking good. Okay, awesome. I'm glad I figured that out. Whew. So I'm going to go ahead and just commit these changes. I should probably do some testing of that and file a bug report. It just seems to me like the only explanation here is that the canvas group global rotation must have been wrong somehow. So, I don't know. Hello, Red Velvet. Half-Life 3 might be announced at the Video Game Awards. Is that true? Or are you memeing? Is this another meme about Half-Life 3? Okay, so change global rotation reference. All right, so got some changes done to the snake there. I still need to do more stuff. I need a spawn effects for the snake. I need to do the death animation for the snake. Actually, where is the snake? Do I not have the snake in here? I guess I'll just go ahead and add it in here. So I need SFX for the snake. I also need a spawn particles and death particles. Okay, the other thing that I need to do is I want to make all the bosses spawn at the center position of the room. So wave manager, or is it arena enemy manager? Oops. Spawn enemy cluster, spawn boss, here we go. Spawn entity spawner. So I think in here, it's gonna get a random location for the spawn position. But I think what I want to do is I want to use the center position of the room. So all the bosses ought to spawn I'm just going to do the easy thing here. Bool is boss. If is boss. Do I have a reference to the base level? No. Spawn position is equal to base level center position. Do I not have... Oh goodness, base level. Okay, so yeah, I want to spawn all the bosses in the center of the room. I think that's going to look much nicer. So true. And the easy way to test this is going to be... Oh, I should probably set this to false by default. There we go. So the easy way to test this... Ooh, I keep jumping all over the place, but I also want the skeleton snake to spawn additional enemies. Can't forget that. The thing is, I need all bosses basically to spawn enemies, and I should also do this for the zombie tycoon. Because there are a lot of passives that kind of require other enemies to exist. So I want all the bosses to spawn ads so that the player can be sure that they can use all of their passives and whatnot. Because like if you've got like ricochet bullets off of enemies, it's not really that useful if there's only one enemy on screen. So, and it also increases the difficulty in a pretty easy to do way. So I think it's just all around a good idea. But now that I went and got distracted by that, I need to figure out what I was doing. Oh yeah, I want to test this. So the wave manager, max waves, let's do 4, boss wave interval equals 2. And I'll just go right ahead into the dungeon level and we'll just verify that the boss is now spawning at the center position. There's some Warframe announcements. Hello, Kawiwi. Welcome back, or welcome to the stream. I don't know if you've been here before, but this is Obsidian with the Obsidian Kanban community plugin. All right, so let's go ahead and test this. So I should be able to fight through the first wave. Look at all these runes. So fight through the first wave and then get the loot goblin. Doesn't really matter. I don't care. I just want to see that the boss is going to spawn here in the center. Nice. Okay. Now it actually looks like that center position is wrong. But I'm going to undo that change there. Dungeon arena. Yeah, this center position is actually wrong, so I'll grab the center position here. Looks like the fog position is wrong too. Anyway, center marker. Move that there. Okay, so now that's in the center. What is this one? Water particles, dust particles. Yeah, all these things can be moved up. Lock those. Is my navigation correct? I didn't even check. Yeah, it's correct. Okay. I've been moving some things around in these levels, so some of the things are a little bit out of whack. But let me just make sure that the graveyard arena now has the center position properly placed. It does. Okay, cool. Okay, so now all the bosses will spawn in the center of the map. I think that's more sensible than choosing a random spawn location for them. And that's going to be particularly useful for the snake. I think it's just going to look better overall. Okay. So update boss spawn position. Now there's one thing I want to do here. I need to add to do. Experiment with weapon changes. This is something that I want to do. Maybe we'll start it today. I'm not entirely sure, but what I want to do is I want to, so firstly, give all weapons innate affixes. So I want to take, so basically the problem is that a lot of people have said, and I agree with them, that the gun parts aren't differentiated enough from each other. They're often just stat sticks and you just take whatever the best option is. So what I want to do to make the weapon choices more interesting is I want to give every single weapon an innate affix, or every single weapon part an innate affix. So for instance, if you get a shock weapon part, it's going to have an unmovable sort of built-in rune, which is to apply shock stacks on hit. That's not going to show up in the rune inventory in your gun. It's just going to show up as like a line item in your overall gun stats. And then, so that's what I want to do. So every single weapon part in the game is going to have some kind of innate affix, some of which will be lootable on their own. And I think that there are going to be others where I'm going to make them unique to the gun part. So there are going to be certain types of affixes that you can't get except on a certain type of gun part. What those will look like, I don't know quite yet. But, you know, it could be something as simple as like just a regular old stat, right? Like 10% increased bullet damage or whatever that just exists on a gun part but can't be looted as its own rune. And so that's kind of where I'm thinking about that. And then if you create a matching gun, so if player creates a matching gun, give additional bonus, like doubled effect of all runes. So this is something that I'm interested in. So if you get thematically an entire gun, so basically, let's say that you get an entire cow gun, or let me open up the game and I'll explain it. So if I go in here, and let's say that I get an entire cow gun like this, then the bonus that I want to give for having like a completed thematic gun is going to either be different for every gun, or probably will just be the same for every gun, which will be something like, if the player creates a matching gun, so it'll be something like give doubled effect of all runes. So let's say that I had a cow gun, but I also had 3 rune slots. The idea would be that each rune would be counted twice. So if I had a poison rune in a completed cow gun, it would actually count as 2 poison runes. If I put, you know, bleed, 2 bleeds, right? And if I had like 3 bleeds, let's say I put 3 bleeds all in there, it would just double all of them, so I'd get 6 bleed stacks on one hit. And that would just kind of be like the incentive for the player to have a matching gun part and really expand the power of their runes. I could also do something like, oh, you just get additional rune slots if you match a gun thematically, or I could come up with individual thematic bonuses for completing the gun parts. But I think starting with something simple like just giving a huge buff for having a thematically complete gun is going to be a good idea, along with the innate affixes. So that's what I want to do. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work, but I want to start prototyping that and see if that will fix some of the problems with, because the gun parts are just kind of lackluster right now. They just have their stats. And so hopefully that will differentiate them enough. First time catching you live. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you for being here. Can you explain the difference between class versus class name? In what context? I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to, Vishal. The animation on the titles for the guns, do you draw it or use an in-engine animator? This is a shader. So it's a shader that's being applied to these banners, and it basically is just doing a sine wave over time. and then applying the offset of the sine wave to the UV sampling of the texture, which gives it this effect. So it's just offsetting how it's sampling the texture, basically. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I like how it turned out. So yeah, what should we work on next? Like I said, I've got a whole ton of stuff in progress. I think what would be useful is for me to test the graveyard, playtest the graveyard, because I haven't yet done that. Yeah, I think I should do some graveyard playtesting here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Let me craft some guns. I'm just going to go in with the default loadout. Just go with the default loadout, and I'm actually going to also remove all of my upgrades. I'm going to see how beatable this is with no upgrades at all. It's probably going to be very difficult, but like I said, I want the graveyard to be beatable by people who don't have any upgrades, but you have to be good at the game to be able to do that, so let's see. Where are my enemies? Where are my foes? I can probably increase the amount of enemies that spawn here. Did I accidentally remove skeletons from the pool here? Let's see. Nope, they just didn't spawn any skeletons. Alright, well, that's fine. Let's do robust. That sounds good. Get the healing right off the bat. That really lowers the speed quite a bit. Alright, I'll just go ahead. In GDScript, there's a class and a class name. I'm using class name to access as a singleton, but not sure about class. Yeah, I don't know. My understanding is that in GDScript, class name is how you define a class, but I don't know what the class keyword is. In GDScript, class is used to create inner private classes. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Eric. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Not private, just inner classes. Gotcha. That makes sense. I've never created... I don't think I've ever created an inner class in GDScript. Let's do Surgeon. Might as well. I'm going to be not taking any damage whatsoever. Ooh, actually, I don't want to do that. Put that there. Did I add... Wait. Oh, I forgot I added drag and drop for these things. Okay. Cool. I'm going to scramble this gun. That's kind of a boring gun, so let's see. Okay, well... It's got rune slots, but the bullet pattern is just ridiculous. Alright, we're gonna try it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm still... Oh no, I ruined this playthrough. I ruined it. Because I'm still in debug mode, so I can't even test it. Shoot. Alright, we'll restart. I forgot I was in debug mode. No. Okay. Alright, let's try again. I'm just gonna go straight into the level. No need to go through the hub this time. Oh, already took damage. I got distracted by the chat. Okay. Thunderstorm, be the fuse, beefy. I'm tempted to take beefy, but I'm going to take be the fuse instead. Here we go. Here's some damage. Get that on there. Get that on there. Get that on there. Okay, yep. This is feeling all right. Get right up on those mushrooms. Yeah, I think the enemies need to ramp up faster in this level, especially since they can spawn in the corners and then it takes them a while to pathfind to you. Probably increase the range of the mushrooms as well. Yeah, these early waves here are kind of like a snooze fest, so I need to address that, I think. Increase early wave enemy density for graveyard. Increase health by 1 permanently, increase movement speed by 15%. Let's take the health. Fire rate, ooh, big DPS increase there. That's free rune slots. Actually, I might as well do this. It's a slow firing weapon, but it hits hard, so that's good. That explosion is really nice for those mushrooms. Oh no. I got too brave. Okay, well I'll take Berserk. I got 2 missing health, might as well. Ooh, that's big damage right there. That's even bigger damage. It's oil though. Ooh, that's fine. Actually, that's fine, yeah. Sweet. Got the skulls now. Oof. Yeah, so things are starting to get harder now by like wave 4. I think I just need to increase the enemy density of the first 3 waves. Skeletons are nasty. Ooh. They're nasty in terms of the damage that they do because their bullet pattern is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to buff those mushrooms as well. Oops. So I'm going to rename this to Graveyard Tweaks. So we're going to increase the enemy density initially. Then we're going to increase mushroom area and range. So those 2 things I want to do for sure. Berserk times 2, tag your it. Let's do tag your it. Yeah, that's a good one. Get some movement speed going. I don't really like any of those. I haven't gotten any gold yet. Does gold drop in this game? I gotta just revisit all the kind of drops and everything. Alright, now I'm full health and I'm not making use of that Berserk anymore. Ooh, lots of things over here. Oh, that's alright. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna take some damage. Oh, I thought ah, no! I was so ready for the dash, but it was too slow. I might have to take Beefy here, honestly. I'm almost dead, so I'm gonna take Beefy just to extend my health a bit. Just to get the bone magazine there. Crystal receiver, rune slots goes down to 1. I'll probably put that over here, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Okay. Hello, Brekhack. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Good to see you. I need more stamina. Oh, I need more stamina. The nice thing is that the player becomes invulnerable after that wave complete shows up. So that means that you won't get killed by any of the bullets that might still exist. Increased movement speed. Enemies that die from poisons damage over time explode, dealing... Do I have poison? Ooh, I do. I might take that. Let's take bloated. And then... Ooh, big damage increase. Big damage increase over here too. Well, not big, but might as well slap some oil on that. Do I want to... No, I don't want to scramble. I need to change that scramble gun so that it's like guaranteed to give you a better gun in terms of DPS. Like it should be guaranteed to give you higher DPS, but like not guaranteed necessarily to preserve like rune slots and stuff. I think that would be the most sensible thing to do. So that if you have a gun that doesn't have any rune slots and it's like low DPS, the gun scrambler becomes a no-brainer. But it might also be tempting to use the gun scrambler even if you've got a gun with a lot of runes, just because maybe the gun is lagging behind in DPS. So I think I'm probably going to make that change. I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Oh, there's some gold. 2 gold, woo. Probably should make gold a lot more common too. I'm kind of contemplating making gold a lot more common and then just increasing the prices of everything. Because it might be more fun to have more to do in the level while you're fighting things. Did those bullets... Hold on a second. I think those bullets are kind of weird. Yeah, they fly over and then they get clipped. So I gotta fix that. Okay. Enemy flying orb bullets clipped at bottom of screen. That's interesting. Why does that happen? I guess I don't really need to look at it right now, but enemy bullets, ordering z-index 1, and then the foreground tile map layer has z-index of 0, but I think did I redo that for... For the graveyard, foreground tile map layer, z-index of 0. Why does that have a z-index of 0? Oh, I guess so the Y... Wait a minute. What is that down there then? What is that? Oh, okay. Right, so this is foreground. Yeah, I'll spend some time investigating that later. It's not super important right now. I'll spend some time investigating that later. Okay. Dashing lasts 3 times longer. Berserk. I might as well take Berserk times 2. 150% increased bullet damage per missing health, and I've got 4 missing health. So this is going to be really slaughtering people here. All right. YouTube takes an hour to warning. Oh, to notification, you mean? Yeah, YouTube notifications are bad, I guess, which is unfortunate. Okay, so now we've got the zombies showing up. And there's a problem with the body slamming zombies that I need to address as well. Ooh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Okay, 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 okay. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble, I'm in trouble. Okay, get rid of that guy. I missed the rune pickups, that's alright though. Okay, one problem with this spawn zombie. I think that they get clipped as well by this foreground. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, it does get clipped. You see that? So you kind of like, yeah, there's some Y sorting issues here. I have to figure out why that's happening. There's a lot of weird Y sorting issues that I have to address, but we'll figure it out. Heal 1 health after each wave. Let's do that. Yes. Okay. If I can make it through this wave without taking damage, then I'll be okay. That's a big if, though. And then I gotta fight the, whatchamacallit? I gotta fight the zombie tycoon. Oof. Okay, I think what I need to do probably is just... deal with the skulls first. Ugh, okay. Still 6 seconds left in the wave, oh my goodness. Get away from me. Okay, got my heal. Now it's time for the zombie tycoon. Let's see if I can do it. Surgeon, bloated. It's like bloated times 2. Bubble gun. Oil receiver. Okay. Time for the zombie tycoon. Or the mausoleum magnate. I've got a lot of damage because of a lot of my missing health, so I don't know why that... There we go. Oh no, oh no. Oh, he's really slow though because I put a bunch of oil on him. That's right. Crawl away. Okay. Yes! Nice, I did it. Woo! Okay. I'm going to take combustion and hope that I get some fire going on here. Okay. Do I want to remove some of these things? I'm going to remove shock and crit chance, and I'm going to put that here. Oh, that's a better one, actually. Okay. This level should be full of gold, yeah. Oh no, I was paying attention to the chat. So polished, that's nice to see. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think what I will do maybe is explore increasing gold drops and increasing cost of everything. I think that's going to be way more fun, honestly. Just have more for you to do during the level. Have more for you to do during the level, and also, yeah, I think that's just gonna be more fun. So Lots of stuff to do here. But, oh, we got slimes now. I'm gonna die right here. I'm in a really bad spot. Okay. I'm in a really bad spot here. Again, I'm doing this without any of the meta progression, any of the upgrades. So I'm trying to see if this is beatable, like if you haven't invested anything into that skill tree or whatever, the passive tree. And I think it should be doable. I'm just not playing well right now, but it should be fine. It should be doable. A better player than I would definitely have no problem doing this, I think. But we'll have to find out. These freaking slimes. Slimes don't have enough health. Well, I'm doing a lot of damage too, so maybe I shouldn't judge that too much. Surgeon, robust. Oh yes, robust times 2. Absolutely. Heal 2 health after every wave. Slap that there. Extra knockback. Oh my gosh. Stop with the bullets. Okay. I do like this terrain though. I like how it's how I can use it to my advantage to protect myself. And the slimes have an interesting bullet pattern where if you stay diagonal to them, you won't get hit. So that's really interesting positioning, I think. Like, see, I just stayed diagonal to those slimes right there and didn't get hit. I think that's really good. I think that's awesome. The flying orb bullets, there's a lot of them, but they move slow. Oh my gosh. Come on. I got 3 gold that entire time. Oh man. Goodness. That's a very, very difficult level, but it didn't feel... I mean, maybe it felt like a little bit much. I have to do more playtesting to see. It's supposed to be a harder level than the dungeon, and it definitely is. The question is it going to be too hard for the second level? Or do I need to tone things down? And there's a lot of levers that I can pull too. I can make the enemy attack patterns slower if I need to. Like the slimes don't have to attack as quickly as they do, for instance. I can reduce the number of bullets that skull enemy shoots out that float around. I can reduce the number of enemies that are spawned, but I want to actually increase the number of enemies that are spawned, at least initially. So there's a lot of levers that I can pull here. I was just chatting with someone the other day, yesterday. One nice thing about having the player health just be like numbers, like you have 3 health and every time you get hit you lose 1 health. Nice thing about that is that I don't really have to do much balancing on that end of things. Like there's no enemy damage for me to balance. It's hard enough to balance the player damage, but then having to balance enemy damage alongside that would be a lot of work and probably very difficult. So I don't really need to, the way that I balance like the player health and how much damage the player is taking is give more damage mitigation opportunities through dashes and like secret service, that passive and everything. And also I can just reduce the lethality of enemies in terms of how often they attack, how many bullets they shoot. That's kind of the way that I balance the amount of damage that the player is taking. Because there's no numbers to tweak there, like no direct damage numbers to tweak. So hello, Eric, again. I'm actually a lurker here for some time now. Usually never talk because you're streamed during my lunch hour. Really enjoy your approach to development and problem solving. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, and I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, to all the lurkers who are watching, I'm happy to have you here as well. There's no need to participate if you don't feel inclined to do so. I'm happy to have you here, always. Awesome, yeah. Would you consider adding subtle indications of the area where the hit circles are? A subtle filler pattern. It seems like for overlapping circles, it can be hard to tell what's inside outside. That's a good point. That was something I considered. It's just like semi-transparency doesn't really work in this game thematically, but maybe I could make an exception for that. But I'd have to play around with that. It's something that I'll think about for sure. You can add and upgrade to give 1 gold every X enemies. I do have gold upgrades, so there's one here, which is an additional 1 to 2 gold coins will be dropped whenever gold is dropped. So this is just a straight up increase in the amount of gold that's dropped. So there's definitely an up, but this only happens when gold is dropped. I think I'm just going to increase the gold drop rate, generally speaking. And that's going to make more sense too, with just the upgrade system and everything. So I think that's going to work nicely. All right, let's see. All right, well, that's going to be it for the stream today, though. Cutting it a little bit short today, 5 minutes shorter than usual. But yeah, I don't think there's anything really big to work on here. So yeah, I'm going to be spending this afternoon mostly just working through this in-progress list. Probably will do some of this exploration on stream maybe tomorrow. Is tomorrow Friday? So yeah, maybe we'll try to work on maybe these gun part things. The experiment with weapon changes here. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow stream, so you'll want to be here at the same time tomorrow if you want to see how that goes. But as always, the VODs are also going to be available, so if you want to watch them on your own time, you can certainly do that. But yeah, I want to thank you all for joining. It's been a blast as always, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, like I said. In the meantime, you could check out the links in the description below for all the ways that you can support my work. I've got Udemy courses available for sale that teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. And then Gunforged, the game that I'm currently working on in this stream, is available for wishlist and has a demo on Steam. So if you'd like to check that out, again, links are in the description below. Thank you everyone for watching and being here and chatting with me. And I hope you all have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.